Welcome, everyone, wherever you are, whenever you are watching and listening. Uh, we are about to play Arden Vul, and we are going to be using the Castles and Crusades system. And my name is Dave. I'm the castle keeper, and we'll go around the horn here clockwise. Just your name and your a little bit about the characters, the two characters you have.
So I'm Jason. I am playing two characters, and the first character is Baldwin, the human fighter, and the second character is Aldrich, the human cleric.
And my name's Kevin, and I'm also playing two characters. My first character is also a human fighter, Uther, and my second character is a gnome wizard and named Merlin. Not a very original name. Sorry.
I'm Thomas. I'm playing two characters as well. My first one is an assassin half-orc. Phantom Veil is the name. And then my next character is an illusionist human, whose name is Calder Nightshade.
All right. And so on our screen, you can see the world of Arden Vul. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Mage, man, whatever. So a little background information. So this world is ruled by the Arcontian Empire. And this map is not as clear as other ones. But its capital city is right here, Arcontos. And they took over here. They expanded and colonized. Yes, they colonized Earthuin, which, and this is the area that Arden Vul is found in. Okay, and if you look up north here, this is where Arden Vul is and where the majority of the play is going to take place. Okay, so before we get there, let's have a look at a different map. So this is called Burdock's Valley. All right, and we have some major areas coming into play here. So as we zoom in, you can see we've got a town of Newmarket, which is where everyone is or was. You guys are coming actually from Narcillion, a city called Narcillion, because there's the Empire it had a major civil war, and the Empire had to retreat from this area, so this area became a frontier once again. And now the Empire has stabilized, and they're re-expanding, and so people are coming back here. And Arden Vul used to be a part of the Empire that was extremely wealthy, had a lot of treasure and powerful items in it, and the Empire wants it back, and there's a lot of other interest in it as well. So you guys are going there because of the lure of wealth, power, all that sort of thing. So we have a town of Newmarket, which is an area where you can buy a lot of goods. But as you also go further north, we have, as you can see, the town of Gosterwick. And it is super close to Arden Vul. And these lines that you see here are elevation lines. And Arden Vul is many hundreds of feet up above in a plateau. All right, and this is all common knowledge. Everyone knows this stuff. Okay, so Arden Vul right here, Gosterwick. So your party walks in to Gosterwick along this road. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, I don't think it's even given a name. Anyway, doesn't matter. And you are now in this map. So, this is the town of Gosterwick. And it also has a very large keep. Okay. And you guys are coming in from the Imperial Way. And just so you know, and anyone watching and listening knows, Arden Vul is a huge mega dungeon. And your survival is going to depend a lot on not just thinking, fighting when necessary, running when necessary, deceiving when necessary, but making allies and knowing who to go to in town. And although this isn't meant as a information dump, you guys need to find out where you can take certain things, buy certain things, and sell certain things. For those of you who don't know, with Castles and Crusades, the experience points that are awarded are not just from defeating monsters and completing quests, but from treasure. However, just because you find the treasure doesn't mean you get the experience points for it. You have to get it to a safe place in order to get the experience points. And so that's another reason why that I recommend you guys explore a little bit. So what you see here in Gosterwick, this is the actual Castle Keeper's key that you're looking at. There is a player's map that doesn't have the numbers, but I thought, well, you guys are going to explore it anyway, so you'll know them all. So what's the point? So you guys walk into, just a second. You guys are walking in, and you go right into the middle of the city or town, okay, and you find yourselves in the central market. So the center of Gosterwick, and it's where four major roads meet. In there lies the center or central square, and by talking to the various people around, and it's full of people mingling and walking here and there and doing their own stuff. There's a market held here twice a week, one on Tots Day and one on Demas Day. So the Tots Day market runs from noon till 8 p.m. and is primarily concerned with selling foodstuffs. Not really a big deal for you guys. The Demas Day market is larger and will last from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. You get foodstuffs, but you also get clothing, cloth, shoes, metalwares, rope, candles, pottery, all sorts of stuff like that. Scribes, sages, money changing. And also, that's when peddlers come. And so, just from generally asking around, people tell you that peddlers have a lot of the typical wares that you would think a peddler would have. But what's most interesting about them is they often bring in specialty items that are magical. Okay? And so that's why a peddler would be of interest.
To kill or befriend?
To charm, to give them their magical items, obviously. Okay, so
don't charm one there.
Now, you guys happen to be standing around when this man approaches you, and he's dressed. He kind of looks like a clerk or a scribe. He's dressed in reasonably nice clothes, but he certainly isn't a warrior. He's slim looking and a little bit frail. And he introduces himself as Oren. And he says that he's a clerk for the Thesmothete. And you guys know that the Thesmothete, because you're from the Arcontian Empire, is another word for mayor. Okay? So he works for the mayor, the Thesmothete, and her name is Eusebia Focus. And he says that she is looking for people to do certain jobs here in Gosterwick. And one of his jobs is to watch newcomers. And he's wondering if you'd be willing to go over to the mayor's building, which happens to be number 23, so close to where you guys are, and speak with her about a job that pays extremely handsomely.
Baldwin has 6 gold and 6 silver, so I am interested in more money.
I don't even think I have any gold and silver, so I am also interested in money.
Calder, who is rich, basically speaks up and says, "Yeah, it's cool. What's in it for us in the sense of other than the riches? Are you going to set us up in an inn somewhere and pay for us and stay there for a bit until we can get our feet on the ground?"
He says that is for the Thesmosite to discuss. I that is not part of my pay grade. So he says, "Are you willing to come and at least talk to her?"
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Will lunch be provided?
Okay. So he starts walking away. He kind of looks over his shoulder and gives you kind of a bit of a sneer.
Phantom Veil kind of assesses the guy. Does he seem like he's truthful? Does he seem like he's...
All right. Make a perception check.
He's a human male.
Yeah. Human male.
Well, I don't know shit. So 2.
A 2. Well, you see that he's wearing these white a white shirt that's rather not done up all the way to the top, so you can see into his chest. He doesn't have much chest hair, but it's like a thin chest, and all you can really gather from looking at him is this guy needs to exercise some more. He can put on some muscle, and obviously works a lot at a desk, and needs a change in life, in your opinion.
Yep.
But whether he's being honest or not, you've no clue. You think maybe.
Let's go, guys.
Seems safe to me.
All right. So he leads you into the building, and it's it's impressive, 30-foot square, 3-story structure. All right. The first 2 stories, as you approach, you're noticing are stone. The 3rd story is wood. And as he leads you in, you guys see on the 1st floor, this has an audience chamber, and there's a bunch of public offices, and you see a bunch of citizens inside, and you can hear like just a general hub, and there's some people complaining about things, and people are talking about fees, and people are asking about writs for summons and all that sort of stuff.
The eggs are too expensive.
So it's just your typical town hall sort of thing. Now, he leads you around to a set of stairs, and you go up on the 2nd level. And here you can see it's a courtroom. Okay, and you see a few people working here, but there doesn't seem to be court being held at the present time. And then he goes up to the 3rd level, and you're following him, and you can tell that this is the personal level of the mayor, the Thessalite. And it has a greeting area, and there's a bunch of nice chairs, stuffed chairs, and he just asks you guys to wait here. And he goes through a door, which he closes behind him and disappears. And minutes later, he comes out with this middle-aged woman. She's got her hair pulled back in a severe bun, and you obviously, as soon as she comes in, this smell of this subtle scent of roses greets you. You can tell that she's well kept. She takes care of herself. She cares about the subtler things in life. Okay, dressed impeccably well, and the guy, the clerk, introduces her, and then introduces each of you and says that you were willing to come and listen to her proposal. And so, what she tells you is that they're having a problem with a special kind of poison in Gosterwick, and this poison is not just in Gosterwick, it's in the New Market, and it's spreading in all sorts of places in the Empire. And she is looking for people who are willing to find out who's making it and to put a stop to it, whatever means necessary. So, she says that this deadly poison goes by the street name Mortality. And there have been some agents of the Empire who have traced the origins to somewhere around. She says that she's willing to pay 2,000 gold pieces per person
Jesus.
who completes this quest.
We're all gonna die.
So,
2,000 gold for each person. Jesus.
Yes.
Christ.
and she says, I can see by the expression on your face, and please, close your mouth.
I mean, it's a great way to spend the city's money. That's great. Like,
Yes. She says, this is not just money from Gosterwick. So this is money coming from the Emperor's household itself. This is how serious this is.
So,
And she said, and I'll be honest, at first we didn't really mind so much because it's just, poor people dying. However, it is such lethal poison, and it's beginning to be used in the noble houses, and now the Emperor is interested.
Phantom Vale kind of speaks up. He's like, "What? Like, how does this poison work? Do you ingest it? Do you have to inject it? Is it just? If we confront it, if it's like absorbed through? Yeah.
It's contact and ingestion. She says it is not airborne. You don't have to worry about that.
Don't let it touch you. Don't spill it on you.
He's like, cool.
She says
cool.
ingestion. It has to get into the bloodstream.
Oh, okay. So if
Bloodstream.
you drink it or get stabbed.
Yes.
So out of character, Phantom Vale is really into poisons, by the way. So he's an assassin. He's into poison. So zoom back in. He's gonna find a way to.
What's his name again?
Phantom Vale.
Okay.
And I'm like, how do you is there any glass jars that we should contain it if we want to stop it? Is there any way to contain it?
She said, well, people have purchased it in vials,
Okay.
and it's a small amount, and it's quite lethal.
Good to know.
People generally die within 10 minutes of application.
Phantom Vale's like, well, I'm in. You got anybody else want to
Now-
do it?
So when she was describing it, she saw Phantom Vale, your assassin, kind of. She goes,
perk up.
"You've heard of this before, and in your profession, yes, you would have."
Oh, I mean, it's crossed my desk sometime. I mean, in my travels, absolutely. I mean, I just didn't know how severe it was. So,
She says, "Well, if you're able to complete this quest, there's certainly more quests available, more jobs to be done. And I'll be honest, you're not the only group we've hired. So,
Calder kind of speaking of, do you think there's competition? So there's people that are willing to die to basically complete these tasks? Or kill to complete these tasks?
and she says, well, we didn't really think about that. What we really want is we need this done. And so the more people you hire for the job, the more likely it's going to be completed."
I think with the amount of money they are offering, I'm sure there's going to be some groups that are going to be killing for this.
Well,
I'm just saying.
So Alder.
we need to bring back proof.
Alder the cleric will speak up, and so he's a human male. He's bald. He has a well-kept beard, but he says that if we make a mess pursuing this quest with dead bodies or fires or destroyed, property, do we get some sort of writ when the town watch shows up and we're standing, splattered in blood and there's dead bodies all around and we're wrecking.
Yeah, like a written letter saying that we're doing this for you.
Yeah. Do we get like a get out of jail free scroll or writ so that
A little badge we could wear, maybe.
Make a persuasion check.
me
Yep.
and persuasion, wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, that'd be charisma.
That'd be charisma.
charisma. All right, well it's still
It's a little plus one.
I want +2 in there.
still prime +1. 18
Boom.
plus +1 plus my level, so 19.
Boom.
Or
Okay.
20, actually 20.
Suck on that, DM.
So she says, well, I can't just give you a writ that allows us to do anything and anything you want because, frankly, I don't know you. However, what I can do is give a writ that says that if you do come afoul of the law, then what you will have the right to do is to have an audience with me where I can speak on your behalf. She says, now...
Calder speaks up. He's like, I'm sensing some red tape on this. You don't want your name on this at all.
Oh, I will. She says, oh, I'll be signing my name. However, it doesn't mean that I'll be able to, and will be willing to condone every action that you take. So you will have to explain yourself, and if I feel that it's legitimate, she says, I will back you. However, if you are doing things that I believe are against the interest of the Empire or Lady Basilian, she said, and she says, then we will not back you. What this writ guarantees is that you'll get an audience so that I can listen and speak on your behalf. And then she wags her finger and she says, and just so you know, she said, and just you guys would know this, she works for Lady Alexa Basilian. She's the imperial family noble who truly runs Gosterwick. The mayor works for her. Okay, the Hazel lady. And she says the Lady Basilian runs the law, and so Lady Alexa Basilian is the leader here, and one of the people who works for her is a very high-level cleric who can determine whether people are telling the truth. And so, as part of this writ, I will be including in it that you must subject yourselves to the cleric's zone of truth casting and speak. Says, do we have a deal? Now, you know, as a cleric, she says, the reason she says to speak is a way to avoid the zone of truth and being caught out in a lie is to say nothing, right? But she's demanding that there's no paladins in the party, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, just double checking.
I mean, it's either we say yes or the story ends. So.
Or we find another quest. But the thing is, the pay is good.
Yeah, the pay's gonna set us up for. We kind of huddling
in
together.
advance.
Well, so Baldwin the fighter will nod at the other characters, like, and you know, I think we take this, but we might have to talk about how we're going to handle this because I'm a little worried that if we make too big of a mess, but I don't want to meta this, so I'll
Fan Veils, it's like don't worry about it. We will take. Yeah, totally.
Okay. So she says, excellent, we've got a deal. And so she looks over at the guy born, and he runs off, and she says, can I offer you some refreshment while we wait for this to be drawn up?
Calder speaks up. He's like, yeah, I think refreshments are good, but also, I mean, obviously, since we're going to be working together, do you have a space that we can stay, kick our feet up? Is there an inn that we can go to that you can kind of cover half the payment, maybe? Since we're doing this
That
for you?
I cannot do. But, however...
Yeah, for $2,000, but you can't do that. Okay.
Well,
I said that on the
I've been instructed to do this, but we don't have a lot of money. You may have noticed that there's a kind of like a ditch all around Gosterwick. The lady wants to put up some stone walls there. She's encouraging all types of adventurers to go into Arden Vul, to find treasure and to bring it back. And she is willing to pay for items. A lot of these people are who work in the town. And she says, but she has grand plans for this town. And yes, we are offering you a lot of money, but we can't just allocate money needlessly in a silly manner. So we're not the Democrats. So she says there's a couple of inns you might be interested in. There's one called the Yellow Cloak Inn. She says it's middle of the road kind of thing. That's what I'd recommend for you. Another one I know of, but it's probably out of your price range. No offense. All right. So she she claps her hands, and another person comes out, and it's a young girl. She says some cheese, some grapes, and some wine, please, for our guests. And then the girl curtsies and scurries off, and she's dressed in and she looks like she's about 10 years old, and is incredibly dressed up in the uniform and looks clean and all that sort of stuff. So you suspect it's some kind of wealthy merchant's child who's working here. And off she scurries, and about a few minutes later she comes out with this platter, and she sets it on the on a table, and she runs out again, and she brings a bunch of glasses out, 7 glasses, and they're beautiful crystal. And she has this large decanter, and being 10, she's being super careful, and she's pouring it, and she does a good job. And then she sets it on the table, and she curtsies towards the woman, and then she scampers off. And so you guys are eating cheese and grapes and sipping really fine wine. You have never tasted wine like this before in your life. And then about 10 minutes later, the guy comes back, and he has 6 rolled pieces of parchment. Okay, and it has red wax seal on it, and you can see that there's a image of a hawk, which is Lady Barcilion's seal, and she cracks one open. There's not a second. She cracks one open, and so you're able to read it. And she says, "Well, actually, you better crack them." She says he shouldn't have sealed them now. She says, "Crack them open." And so what you guys read is that bearer of this writ is working under the authority of the Fazelthite of Gosterwick, and if there are any questions about the legality of their actions, you are to meet with the Fazelthite before taking any action. And then the date, her name's written there, and then she tells the guy to go get the seal again and re-wax it and seal it up. You guys are each given one, and she says, "So, how are you going to find out? What's your plan? You've been sitting here, eating, not talking, sipping my wine."
Well, where are these cases of the poison happening the most?
Well, she looks at the assassin and says, "You look like you have friends in low places. I suggest you start there."
Oh, thanks very much for the info.
And then she says, "Thank you for your time, gentlemen. I look forward to seeing you in the very near future."
Can I get a read on her in the sense of how?
Yeah, do a perception check.
What is perception here? Is that con?
That's wisdom.
Wisdom.
Is that a prime?
No. Unfortunately not. Cool, a solid 1, which equals a 2.
You think you want to marry this woman, even though she's much older than you.
Jesus Christ. Hey guys, everything's fine. She's great.
Yeah, stop rolling over.
Yeah, let's get going.
Okay. So she goes, "I bid you adieu. Have a great day." And the guy comes, and he leads you down flights of stairs, and he says, "Well, thank you for coming. I look forward to seeing you guys. You guys, hopefully you'll do better than the other 2 that we sent out."
This is this Orin, the clerk.
Yeah.
So Baldwin, who's the human male, and he's just stat-wise, because he has a strength of 18 and a dex of 15 and a con of 17.
Jesus
he is
Christ.
a big dude. So he
is not stopping.
he'll ask Orin He's unshaven, and he's sort of short hair that looks like he cut it himself. It's sort of wild and sticks out in different places. He's going to ask him what happened to the other parties. Like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. wait a minute. What happened to these other parties?
Well, there are two other parties. One was 2 months ago. We haven't heard from them. And the other one was about a month ago. And we haven't heard from them either. So, we hope that they just decided that maybe this wasn't in their best interest and they're still alive. So I don't wish ill on anyone, but he goes, you know, right? You don't want anyone to die.
I'll grin slyly at that and say, well, sometimes.
Okay, so he looks at you and he kind of takes a step back and he says, "Oh, well, have a great day and hope to see you soon." Okay, so you guys are on Keep Row, right next to the Central Market, which is 22. So you're at 23.
Is there a lot of the day left? Or?
Oh yeah, there's lots.
Okay,
of day
so
left.
we can wander around before we go to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you think we should go? Where should we go?
Sorry, I'm fixing a wound.
Phantom Vale says he will. He's gonna head out, see if he can talk to any low lifes, to find out where this shit's coming from.
In the market. So you're going to wander on
Yeah,
your
I'm
own?
gonna wander. Yeah, just to see if I can talk to any of the low lifes.
So you're going to try to make contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll say I'll meet you guys. I'll meet you guys back at the Yellow
Honestly,
Cloak Inn.
There's not, like, this is kind of out of my character's wheelhouses, so. Like,
Okay.
and
So the Yellow Cloak Inn is number 21. So it's right here. It's right next to the market.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's beside the market.
So yeah, I'll basically point like I'll meet you guys there within the hour. You guys can maybe shop for some health potions. Seems like we're gonna need them.
But we don't have any money.
yeah.
We have enough money.
Calder says I've got money. Don't
We
worry.
have enough money to I can pay for a couple of nights at the inn with my characters. I have like a handful of change.
I've got about
left.
50 gold left. So
Ooh, yeah, I only have a handful of change left, gold and silver for both characters.
yeah. So Phantom Vale just. Oh, so you guys look at Calder. He's like, oh, I got enough, and then Phantom. You look back and Phantom's gone.
Okay, so he's gonna wander around.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Still,
So
Cut it on the
Aldrich
doorknob?
Clare
Dave's nice.
is just gonna look around the market just to see if anyone is paying attention to us. Obviously, right? We're armed. You know,
Yeah.
like we're armed. We have weapons and armor and all kinds of gear on us. So I just want to see if anybody's watching us. I rolled a 9. I got a +2, so that's 11. +1 for my level is 12. So
Okay.
and it's a prime, so I got it right on the button.
Boom.
Okay, you do see one guy who, unshaven, looks like he's, not a stellar member of society. That's watching you. He's eating an apple, and he's wearing leather armor. He's got a dagger in the one hip and a short sword on the other side. And he's watching you, and he sees you look at him, and he just gives you the nod. But what you did notice, though, was his eyes followed the assassin as he walked off.
Is this somebody we think we should talk to? I'll ask
Yeah, I think so.
Uther. Uther's the other fighter, right?
Yep.
So, how does he react if we start walking towards him through the crowd?
He's just leaning against the building wall, and he's a human, and he seems like a young man, not terribly muscular or big, but he doesn't seem alarmed or anything like that. He just keeps eating his apple, and he nods at you when you guys arrive, and kind of looks up at you, and he says to you, "You're a big fella, aren't you?" And he takes another bite of his apple. You guys are new in town, huh?
Yeah, you seem to be a little interested in some of our party.
He says, "Well, I'm sure you're not naive, and you are aware that there's a legal brotherhood of thieves in every major town, city in the Arcontian Empire." He says, "And I work for them. My name is Appledorn." And he takes the bite of the apple again. And he says, And one of the things that I do is I sell information to people.
You're telling me I just walked off for no reason?
Yeah, seems like it.
Well,
Oh, man.
do we go right for it right here? Do we just go right here?
Well, Calder speaks up. He's like, so type of information. You kind of know everything that happens around this town and around it?
He says, well, I wouldn't say I know everything.
I mean, have you heard of... I mean, we just caught wind of some type of poison that's been happening around that we're it's kind of contagious and harmful.
He says, well, whoever told you that information is partially right. It isn't contagious. He says, unless you're stupid. He kind of snickers a bit. But,
Have you come across it at all?
well, maybe I haven't, maybe I haven't.
Oh, wow. Quite the conversation we're having here.
Okay. He's got a little purse at his side. He kind of jingles a little bit and goes, maybe I have, but yeah, maybe I haven't.
Give them the rest of your change they have.
Between the two of them, I have 12 gold and 18 silver between the two characters.
Cool. Pay up 5 gold to him.
Okay, so I'll pull out 5 gold, and I'll say, does this...
Okay, his eyes go a bit wide.
So Baldwin, who he'll put the 5 gold in his hand, and he'll put his hand out, and he'll say, okay, 5 gold. He says, does this jog your memory properly? And then I'll say, but remember, I follow a very strict set of rules in life, and that people who cross me, I make sure I pay them back. And then I nod at them. Understand?
He nods. And he says 5 gold. He says, that jogs my memory big time. He says, here's the deal. Yeah. He says, Mortality is coming from Arden Vul. There's a supplier who comes through, and he's getting it from somewhere in Arden Vul. Rumor has it, it's coming from some group on the 3rd level.
So in the ruins of the old city, someone's brewing this stuff and shipping it to the towns in the area.
Yes, and they're sending it to merchants, and then merchants are sending it out to wherever the contracts are.
So, so there's a guy that transports it. So for this 5 gold, can we know the description and the name of this person who transports it?
He says, they're clever that way. I would tell you, but if it's the same person all the time, they're going to find out. And so they cleverly, what they do is they charm someone who comes there, and that person becomes now a new caravan master and is unwittingly setting out mortality.
Drug mule.
Drug mule is right.
Interesting.
He says, well, this is all rumor, right? And he gives you this big wink. And he looks around, he says, goddamn agents of the Empire, you never know when they're watching or listening. And then he gives you another wink. He says, well, what do you guys, do you have any other questions? You seem to be flush with money. I'd be happy to give you more information.
Calder speaks up and says, I mean, you could be a very valuable asset for us. I mean, you seem to be part of the thieves area, low-end area of the city. You probably hear things a lot. Privy to some information that may be passed around that you may eavesdrop on. So if what you've given us is true, and we act on it, and we become successful, we may come back to you for anything else that may be happening around.
Well, he says, of course, I think we could definitely make a mutually beneficial arrangement. He says, I'm always in the market at noon every day. He says, however, I see such intelligent and business-like men such as yourselves may not want to wait for the 12th hour. He says, you can find me just off of Serpent Row. He says, the benevolent Brotherhood, and that's the name of the Thieves Guild, has a house there.
What was it called?
Benevolent Brotherhood.
The Benevolent Brotherhood. Okay? And you'll be able to just go in and ask for me.
Just like that?
Just like that.
No weapons drawn if we come up?
He says, no. He says, no. He says, you guys don't understand. People of all types come to us to ask for and pay for certain jobs to be done. Sometimes people need to lose an item in order to become a better person. Sometimes a person needs to have a little, say, rumors started about them. Sometimes a person just needs a little visit with, 5 or maybe 10 knuckles. You know what I mean? We provide those services.
Calder throws an extra gold piece in there and says, "What do you know about this mayor?"
He says, well, he snags that gold piece and he says, you know about the lady, she's aware of us, she gets a certain cut because we don't want those goddamn knights of the Azure Shield coming down our throats. Those fuckers are fucking scary. And everyone make a wisdom check.
Jesus Christ, Thomas, can you get something in double digits?
Did anyone pass it?
So Aldrich passed because his is a prime and he's a cleric, has good wisdom.
7.
So when you hear how he describes these knights of the Azure Shield, because the Azure Shield has sets in every city, and these are knights that go out of the way to help the needy, the poor. And yes, they are great fighters, but no one describes them as scary like that.
Mm-hmm. Like he's describing them as scary in terms of the local ones are like violent and dangerous, which is not characteristic of the rest of them.
What do you ask?
So is like the local brotherhood of this knightly order out of, like, are they off the
grid type?
Are they acting on their own? Is there some sort of
vigilante type?
Yeah, that seems uncharacteristic for their order.
He kind of shrugs his shoulders. I don't know if they're, gone rogue or anything like that.
Corrupt?
He says, well, I have witnessed them sometimes helping people, but it just doesn't seem to be their primary focus, and it's always has been. Which, he says, gotta admit, makes things a little easier for me and my kind in Gostoy.
Some type of corruption happening in there.
Something weird's going on there.
Yeah.
And he says, you guys know they work for Lady Alexa, right? You guys are aware of that?
No.
And
Mayor wasn't being very open in the sense of giving us information. So
well, and he says, well, and you've heard about the problems between Lady Alexa and her half brother, right? He's like, everyone knows that, right?
Again, the mayor was very
okay. Not and then he kind of bangs his purse again, his wallet, and says, well, it is your lucky day because I know a shit ton.
I flick him another gold piece.
Okay.
Fuck, we're into this guy for like 6 or 7 gold. That's a small fortune. Yeah. So like, we should make sure. So I'll whisper you just say like, we make sure that we're getting our money's worth of what's happening here.
Yeah. So he says, okay. So both of them are part of the Imperial family. Now, the rule of this valley was given to the half brother, and the Emperor made that decision. And Lady Alexia has been very vocal against this, and so she decided to just take over this town and bring these knights here. And at first we thought they were going to interrupt trade, our kind of trade, but and they have done it a bit, but not as much as one would think. And there is some kind of major animosity between those two. So he's living in Newcastle, or he controls Newcastle, and he's got some big castle up close by there. And she's living up here in residence by the Azure Shield. Now, he says, don't get me wrong. She seems to be like straight on the up and up. From what I've heard, she's never gone back on her word. She's never reneged on a deal. And the same can't be said for her half-assed brother. He says, so, just so you know that that's who's running this place. And yes, we offer a 10% tithe towards her, so that those knights don't come and kick the shit out of us.
So last question about the poison is, does he know who sells it in town?
We've no idea. We've been trying to find out because
Where are you seeing it the most? What part of the town?
Like, who's dying from it? Who's using it?
well, he says, well, this is the problem. It's a part of
Everything.
the town that we don't really have much access to. The nobles.
So the noble houses are having a war and killing each other with this potent poison.
Yeah. There's been the occasional low life, but we think that that's misdirection.
So the nobles are controlling the supply of it, or just it
They're
buying
using it on each other.
The
right?
nobles
Is that what he's
says no.
explaining?
He says it's someone or some organization is doing this from Arden Vul. The nobles are the ones who are making use of it, and there is conflict between the lady and the Lord Vasilian and Lady Alexa Vasilian, and there's been, he says, some people from noble houses and servants and stuff who died from. So he says, I'll be honest, this stuff is more lethal than the typical poisons that that we come across. Mortality, he says, it's well named. Well named.
What do you know about this Arden Vul? Is it guarded, or is it open to anybody that goes in?
He says, well, lots of people go in there, and some come back, and some come back heavily laden with treasure. Others we never see again. He says, there is a dragon up around there.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Be on
he
our
says
scope right
some nasty big green dragon.
All right,
He
well,
says, his name is Crastinora, but we all just call it Crast. People say that if you offer him gold or other treasure, that or something large to eat, he'll leave you alone.
nice Hobbit reference. I basically think that we've gotten a lot of information from Appledorn, and I think we should, as we're speaking, Phantom Vale comes out of nowhere, and basically is like, I couldn't find shit. Like, this market sucks. And meanwhile, and I'm like, I'm like, who the hell is this guy?
Okay, but that's not actually quite true. You actually did.
Oh yeah, myself. Okay, never mind. I'm not back yet. Caldor kind of thanks Appledorn in the sense of we'll keep in touch. If we can't find you, we'll head to your brotherhood. If we need any more information, but keep your ears and eyes open for anything that may be of interest to us.
Okay. He says, he nods at you and he tosses his core just on the ground, and off he goes. All right.
8 gold. And I have none, so.
Well, I'm down to a handful of silver coins and a couple of gold coins.
So let's go over and see
What
how much it costs.
So what did Phantom Vale do
Oh, Phantom. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
before I came
So
back?
basically, you went down Golden Road.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the things that you found, that you noticed, number 12 there,
Yeah.
is the Stunned Acolyte Inn. Okay. And it's a very fancy place. You didn't bother going inside, but you could just tell by looking at the guards there.
We want to talk to people there because this is where the nobles will hang out, right?
Okay.
Go in there and poison their food.
So just so you're aware of that. So then you went and took a right down Serpent Row.
Well, I'm not there.
Okay. And number 5, that's the Benevolent Brotherhood. That
Okay.
and you would have.
I would have not known. I'll know it later.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Number 3. So this is of interest. It's called Kalio's Bathhouse. So it's a sprawling structure. It occupies 3 once distinct but now connected stone buildings, obviously along the riverfront. And they've been reconceived as Arcantian-style bathhouses. And the main entrance is through the middle building, and it leads to what's called the tepidarium, or which is another name for a warm bath. From there, you looking around, and there's people wandering in and out and doing it. And it has a cold bath, and it also has a sauna. All right. On the second floor, a bunch of sauna rooms, and also private rooms for, you find out as you talk to the people that work there, for casual dining and private conversations. And as well, the option to hire a male or female prostitute of your choice. So, it costs 1 silver piece to visit the baths, and there are, additional services like towels, oils, massages, refreshments, and the option to buy one of the 30 prostitutes that work there. Okay.
Buy them?
For the
Okay.
rent. Sorry, did I say buy? I should have said rent.
You're mine now, bitch. 5 gold.
All right. And so you think this might be an area where you might be able to use in the future to gain information? Okay, not just those kinds of services. All right.
Totally what he's thinking about.
Yep.
So
Gonna stay here for a couple hours, guys.
and then that's where coming back. Now, another place of interest is, as you can go all between all these different buildings, is number 4, and it's called the Bailiff's Truncheon.
What is it?
Okay, and it's a seedy bar.
What's it called again?
The Bailiff's Truncheon. So it's located at the foot of the hill that holds the residence of Lady Alexia. The ground floor, it's part of a wooden triplex. This place is cheap, it's dirty, and it's crowded full of lowlife. And you feel just at home. Yeah, okay.
Maybe a little
Now-
higher up, but
Do you want to go inside it?
sure.
Okay, so you go on in, and they're talking, and people just outright talk about that this place has 2 basements where they do illegal knuckle fights for gambling. So if because they're looking up and down, they're saying, "Do you want to enter for a fight and win some money?" So they're talking about that sort of stuff. Okay. And there's alcohol there, gambling on bare knuckle fights, participation in bare knuckle fights. Okay, and you're told that the person who runs this place and deals with all the betting and everything like that, his name is Eagle, Egill, Flatnose. He's the owner, and he's also the bartender, and he's the one shilling out that shit wine that everyone's trying to call ale.
I wonder how he got a flat nose.
All right.
So I go up to the bar and I put down a coin for a shot.
All right.
And basically ask them like, how long have you been around here for?
He says, I've owned this place for the last 10 years.
So you've seen things come and go through this place?
He laughs. He says, you wouldn't believe it.
And like any type of poison coming through this area?
Okay. And he kind of looks around, and you can see he's checking to see if people are in listening distance. And he says,
And I'm at like the kind of where like a corner of a bar, kind of like against the wall, kind of. So I'm like looking at the crowd, but also talking to him.
yeah, he says, you do realize that loose tongues can have fatal consequences.
I mean, I'm right in the same brotherhood as you are, buddy. So I know exactly what I'm here for.
He says, yeah, because there's different kinds of poisons. There's poison, and then there's poison. And he looks at you. Are you talking about that mortality stuff?
That's what I've been hearing through this town. Yes.
He says, Yeah, well, listen. I don't want to get involved in it. That's a game for nobles, and I'm not getting involved with those rich fucks. You meet with the noble, you deal with the noble, and you have strings tied to you for fucking ever. I do not want to play those games. I stay away.
I'm hearing, but I'm also hearing some lowlifes are getting a hand on it. How are they getting a hand on it?
He says, well, died, yes, but he goes, I haven't heard of them, other than being dupes or being in the wrong place, wrong time sort of thing. He says, I haven't heard of them running anything. He says, this is noble
But
shit.
it's all, he's like, I'm like, it's all nobles? Maybe they're bringing in lowlifes to test it out on it, or what?
He laughs, he gives this mirthless chuckle, and he says, well, I wouldn't put it past them. If you want to test out how much much of a dose you need to, he says, but hey, listen, I don't know what your interest is in this, but if I were you, I think the world would be much better off if we were, 10 or 20 or maybe 100 fewer nobles. Let them play their games, kill each other, and keep their nose out of our business. He says, you don't look like you want to, stand up in a fair fight, but you have any friends who might?
I think I have a couple that may want to venture down here, maybe, yeah, for a little break.
He says, well, we'd love to see you down here, and bring your purse.
I flick him another coin. I'm like, well, keep your eyes and ears open, and I may be back to see if you have any information
All right,
for me.
what do they call you?
Just call me Phantom.
Phantom. And he laughs at the name. Okay, well, don't disappear on me, eh? And he chuckles and he goes off to do
No problem, flat nose.
He laughs as he's walking away.
So I take my shot and I walk out. So,
All right.
And I head back to the inn.
Okay. You make it back here, and we're going to 21. So,
Wow. Jesus.
all right, so you guys all approach the inn. So the Yellow Cloak Inn occupies one of the oldest structures in Gostwick, and it's on a favorable site joining the central market. So the main structure is painted imperial yellow and is 5 stories tall, and it's facing Stone Street, which you guys can see on the map there. And the ground floor of this main structure, as you walk in, holds reception, a lounge, and the upper class common room, which you guys think hopefully you can afford. All right. While the upper floors are divided to individual rooms for rent. The subsidiary structure faces the Imperial Row and is newer. It's only 3 stories tall, and the ground floor holds the kitchen and main common room, while the upper 2 floors contain several dormitory-style bunk rooms. So it's the larger of the 2 inns in Gostwick, and has the more, what they say, eclectic clientele. So, meals in the upper class common room range from 5 silver pieces to 5 gold pieces, while those in the main common room range from 1 silver piece for soup and bread to 2 silver pieces for a merchant's meal, and then all the way to 2 gold pieces for a rich meal. Okay, so a night in a single room is 1 gold piece per head, maximum 3 people per room. So it costs you guys 2 gold a night. However, a bunk bed in one of the dormitories is 1 silver piece per night. What's the plan?
They rent tents?
Well, if we get bunks and buy like decent merchant meals, probably is a good way to conserve money because we don't know how long we're going to be in town here.
Yeah. Okay, so the idea is to buy a bunk bed in one of the dormitories, so 6 bunks. So what you're looking then, so I don't know who's doing the treasury, is who's decided to do that. Okay.
You're
So-
always the treasurer, but
Do you want some paper?
I got some.
Okay. So you're gonna be charging. So you'd be charged 6 silver pieces per night at this inn. It's 2 silver pieces. I imagine you're going with the merchant's meal.
yeah, like a decent.
And are you gonna do 3 meals a day for everyone?
Sure.
All right. So we're looking at 36 silver pieces a day for food here.
Shit, that's like 3 gold. 3.6 gold.
Yeah.
Don't worry, when we get our payday.
Yeah, we better get our.
Payday fast.
So they ask you, do you want to just for the night? Do you want to?
We'll do it for the night.
Okay.
We may not be back after our adventure. I mean, just keep it warm for us.
I sort of feel like we want to hang around. We can't afford the expensive inn.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we should hang around there and start talking to people around it. They're coming and going from it, and try to figure something out there. I don't know.
Kill a family, take over a house.
Jesus. See, I was thinking maybe find an empty house.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Become squatters.
Become squatters.
All right.
Like
So
I said, a park where we can set up tents.
it's about mid-afternoon after all this.
Oh, it's still
exploration.
afternoon? Shit. I thought it was daytime, nighttime.
All right. You have a couple more hours if you want to do some more exploring. If you want to know what else is on these numbers.
How far is Arden Vul from this?
Not too far. However, it's not so much the distance. Well, actually, you can see. So there's in the distance this.
The hell is that?
Here's the cliff face. So you're at the bottom of this, and there's this major waterfall going down. All right, so 1 square.
That's a giant sculpture.
There's 2 huge statues, massive statues,
Yeah.
Okay.
Switch back way up.
and a switchback with like these are little stops, like little caves with like wood and stuff, like rest places, kind of like
Stop, have
yeah,
fire.
yeah, like an en route, right?
And one only goes halfway up. Is there one on the left? Is that another one?
Okay, so this is Arden. So
Yeah.
Arden is a famous warrior, known, and she's known for doing the 12 feats of Arden. Okay, this is Vul. Vul, legend has it, was a wizard, an incredibly powerful wizard, and the 2 of them went and did all these incredible feats along the Arcontian Empire. This is 2,000 years ago. All right, so we're talking about myth now. But as you can see, we have the water coming down here, a road, we've got a bit of a lake, and you can see her arm coming down holding this sword. She's famous for this magic sword that she had that no one knows where it is anymore.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you can see her arm here, and her other arm is coming down, but you can't see her hand really from
So
this
we're
spot.
seeing this from
and
the
she's kneeling down.
We can see this from the city.
You can see it now. This waterfall is bringing like a lot of mist and everything
Yeah.
like that, but
we
yeah,
see the statues. And
you can make it out.
Jesus Christ.
So there's like this escarpment wall with these 2 great big giant 100-foot tall, hundreds of foot tall statues carved into the mountain, into the escarpment wall, and we could see that in the far distance.
Yes. All right. So
Shit. All right. Well, is there anywhere that anybody needs to go? Anybody want to do anything before we venture out to Arden Vul?
so they say that
Did
So-
we ever find a spot where you might be able to purchase potions?
Yeah, I asked the innkeeper. Is there any spots in town that potions or shields or weapons?
okay.
I'm buying gifts for my niece and nephew.
She goes, well, yeah, you can probably go to the Temple of Dema. They offer healing and advanced cures, stuff like that, and I'm sure they could sell you some potions. All right, so the that's AK9 DEMMA. So that is
Way up there.
right over here. So part of God's Hill. Now she says another one is the Temple of Lucreon, which is number 10. She says, but it's the kind of place, the temple that treats its followers really well, but doesn't, they're kind of grudging and they're not as giving to others.
Calder kind of speaks up. He's like, I'm getting a sense of this town of random acts of kindness, yet not a lot happening. Like, what is your take on this city?
Huh.
And the sense of people coming through and just...
So here's the thing. Arden Vul's right up there, and it's some massive place that was beyond rich before it fell between the civil war that happened between the Thessalthos and the Sortians. And when she says this Sortians, she pretends to spit, right? And you guys have all heard stories about the evil Sortians that rose up and it caused the civil war and huge problems for the empire. She says, money, just does strange things with people. Some people can resist it better than others. Some people it has no hold on whatsoever. She says, but others, we're getting all sorts of people coming through here. And I'll be honest with you, most don't come back. So I don't know what's going on. But we get some people coming back, and they seem to be being successful. And there's a few merchants here, and there's some people who've gotten titles from the Lady Alexia to build up here because they brought back riches.
So I asked her about the nobles. I'm like, are these nobles that earn their way to the top, or basically fake their way to the top?
Okay, so she does the look around. You never know when a fucking drone's around. So you guys know the word drone is a slang term for the spies of the Empire. And you do not want their attention. It's kind of thing like CIA plus FBI. So she says, and she says very, very quietly, actually, make a persuasion check, because she might be willing to say this out loud.
Is this wisdom? Is this wisdom or intelligence?
We don't think...
Charisma,
yeah.
Like, there's really nothing we can do about the poison in town, right?
No.
Like, she's not going to pay us if we find a store over here and kill the people and turn the store over to her, right? Like, she wants us to stop the flow of it completely. We can't do that in town, right? So
you're getting the idea that she's worried that's going to be used against her, the Lady Alexia.
Oh, okay.
So that's why she's worried about it now.
But she's paying us to destroy the source of it. And like in town, if we found somebody was selling or using it, there's no money for that for us. Right?
Like Lady Alexa wants to kill the mayor off, or the mayor?
No. They work
well together.
Okay.
They're
worried that someone,
okay, half brother,
gotcha, will use it.
I rolled a 10, and that's a prime. So
okay, well, so she kind of was listening. Some things are just not safe to say out loud around here. She goes, the drone, they're everywhere.
Chris, I'm rolling like shit tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
But she goes, I'm more than happy to talk about other things, of a safe nature. She gives a smile.
So that we should probably, like, is there anything else we need to do in town?
We can head up to God's Hill, buy some potions if we have enough money for it. So, I know you guys are all poor. Sorry.
Yeah, we're all...
Money does things. Get a bit plebs.
Yeah, I don't have any money. I spent it all on weapons and armor.
Just so you know, number 6 there, so that's the House of the Gods, and it's a large structure that appears quite impressive, and it resembles a large Corinthian-style temple. It's got a roof that's 20 feet above the floor and supported by a set of stone columns on all 4 sides. And within are freestanding shrines to most of the Arcontian, Wiscan, and Thorson deities. So you guys are all Arcontian, but the land that you're in right now used to be Thorson, and the Arcontians took it over. Right? So the Thorsons are now part of the Empire, as are the Wiscans. Now, the shrines, they all vary in size and sophistication, and most typically contain nothing more than a covered altar and a locked stone chest for offerings. But that's not really the areas you're really looking for. Now, there's about a 20% and there's no one there right now, but there's a 20% chance that there's a cleric from one of the gods that happens to be visiting, right? But right now, no one's there. Number 7 is the Temple of Mitra. And you guys know that Mitra is a lawful good god who's associated with justice, protection, and serving the weak, and the cleansing properties of fire.
Yep.
And so they offer services of healing and other spells to the worthy. Okay? You know that there's clerics there. There's this and female cleric, Jador the Just, that offers this. And then there's a paladin there as well, Gestion, and a bunch of others. But those are the 2 main people you would deal with. So if you wanted to go there, you could.
Cleric, do you want to visit?
I'm just going to tell you the other ones, just so you know. Number 8, this is the Temple of Hesius Ban. And Hesius is one of the most popular gods of Arcantian gods, and lawful evil.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so
You have two
this is being tolerated.
You have 2 temples next to each other. Lawful good and lawful evil.
Yeah, that's probably not going over well.
No.
Any of those fuckers poisoning each other?
Well, let's get some popcorn and watch the show every.
And so you hear from because there's like the town's full of people. Like it's packed. It's a frontier town that is. It's kind of like the gold rush, right? So there's people coming and going, and just a quick question, and people tell you this freely. Like they offer healing, but they're kind of condescending. Like, oh God, you need healing, you weak, pathetic shit. Like that's the kind of attitude. So they'll do it for a price, but they also tell you that one charges more, depending on who you are. So then number 9 is the Temple of Dema, which I told you about. And then number 10 is the Temple of Lucrion, which is lawful neutral. Temple of Dema
So
is
you have
lawful good.
all ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
Good,
Yes.
evil, neutral.
So 1 evil, 1 neutral, and 2 good. So 7 and 9 are good.
Interesting.
All right. Now, and just so you guys would know this from history, Set was an ancient god, as was Thoth, and Set was an evil god that really promoted slavery and sacrifice. And Set was one of the gods that was revered by the Arcantian Empire thousands of years ago, and it used to be in Arden Vul. There used to be a sect there, but it's been lost since Arden Vul was lost.
Yeah.
But that is common history.
Oh yeah, everyone knows that. Yeah. Carl.
All right. Okay.
So we go into the Walmart, number 9.
Okay. So number 9.
Temple of Demon.
Okay. Does anyone have the potion of healing? How much is that? Is that in the player's handbook?
They actually pay us $20 for it.
No, not quite. You guys aren't worthy.
Take it.
You're not worthy yet.
I think it's like 2 silver pieces.
I think it's is it 50?
Yeah, I think it's 50.
It always seems to be 50 gold pieces.
Never lowers to 25.
No, it usually goes up.
Walmart rollback prices. Temple of Walmart.
I have it on this computer, but I can't touch this one.
Oh dear.
There's nothing in the equipment section on
Yeah.
that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna set it at
25.
55 gold pieces. It's a bit more expensive here.
Shit.
Oh.
It's more. It's 5 gold pieces more expensive
Fucking
here than Newcastle.
Fucking terrorists.
These far right Nazis are just yeah, no. It is. They're obviously taking advantage of the situation. There's a bit of a need here for healing, and so when there is a demand and not enough supply, you know what happens.
Well, I've only got 60 gold pieces left, so.
You go buy one.
Remember, you have a cleric that can heal.
That's true. Yeah, I'll buy one.
Okay.
And
All right.
I will hide it from everyone.
Mark it off. So he tries to hide it as you guys all watch him, buy it from the guy, the clerk, and surreptitiously tries to put it in his
And I drop it, it
backpack
smashes
without-
on the floor, and it's all wasted.
Okay. Is there anywhere else you guys want to go?
I think I'm ready to go to Arden Vul.
Okay.
Anybody else need anything? Carlo, need anything?
I need to go to sleep. I think I'm bleeding out over here.
Me
I'm getting dizzy.
The three of us are just like, yeah, fuck it, let's keep going.
Before you guys go the next morning, a little bit of more information. So, and this is common in every town and city. So the imperial agencies of note. So you have the House of Coins, so that's responsible for general taxation and expenditures. There's the House of Sight. That's the official name. The slang term is the drone, D-R-O-M-E.
Oh fuck! It's the FBI headquarters.
Yes. So
Shit, the cops.
Yeah.
they're responsible for postal service,
Bullshit.
diplomacy,
Bullshit.
and imperial intelligence gathering.
You know, I think does
And
have anything
on the
about spells.
And sometimes
No, someone took mine. I have to reprint it. Sorry.
and rumor has it torture.
Fab.
As a
I
side
think
note,
Fab kept
I
it.
looked up in treasure thing. A level 1
Because that's what I was looking at with
potion
my
costs
Lucius. I'm like, okay, I got. Where's my
Oh,
thing?
you
So I printed it all
got a
out.
deal. Level 1 potion costs 200. So that's what it's going to. Well, prices are 10% higher
have to look
in
it up.
Gosterwick, unfortunately. So it's going to be 220. All right. So you just got a freebie that you found.
Hopefully it fucking works the way it's supposed to.
That's like a tenth of the price of what we're supposed to be earning.
Yeah, but
We
here,
can buy 10 healing potions, guys.
Just so you know, this setting, Arden Vul, is so flush with money, treasure. It's stunning.
We're gonna own the town.
It's stunning.
Well, we know what we're going to be spending it on.
Okay, and
Aid.
so now and you guys need to know this, especially since you have those writs, how justice works. So high justice, that's crimes against the emperor or the state. And so we're talking treason, murder, arson, rape, criminal conspiracy against an imperial family member or their property, resulting in fines and death.
Oh,
Right?
you get fined and then killed?
Yes. And then the next level down is called justice of the body.
Oh, jeez.
That's offenses against imperial citizens or those granted protection by the empire. And so for assault, insult, slander, sexual assault, not rape, fines to amputation to death. So just, you guys need to know because you're helping out an imperial family member and there seems to be some
Lots of rules.
So we have
bad
to find.
blood between one and another, and
So Jason, look up people how to hide bodies. What's the cost for that?
the next level down is called the Justice of the Domus. So that's crimes against the property of imperial citizens, burglary, theft, with damage of 50 gold pieces or more. And people found guilty have fines, or blinding, or amputation, or castration, or a combination thereof. And finally, the lowest one's called low justice, and it's crimes against non-citizens and petty crimes, disputes or
us.
damages to goods worth less than 50 gold pieces. So it varies widely, varying from, strangely enough, fines to death. All right, so you need to be aware of that, just in case, something happens, or you're thinking of doing something in the future, or someone's trying to encourage you to do something in the future.
Oh, wait a minute.
Feels a lot
just
like
so you know what's
Bordello.
going on.
Can't be traced back when I poisoned the water supply for the town. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Off to Arden Vul.
Now,
Let's say.
is there? And so there's a smith here. But you guys don't want to worry about finding out about that till the time comes.
Got no money.
We need to
right?
get money first, so we want to do this. We need to get on
Right.
this task.
Okay.
Once
I don't think there's anything. We could make a bit of small change if we decide
Yeah.
to go to that inn and that fight club and join the fight club and try to
True.
beat up. We could get some money, but not enough money to do anything other than buy more food and
Or
nights
in
at the
case
inn.
somebody loses and we have to owe money.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Amputation. God damn it.
Ah,
Should we
shit.
start, or we find out we beat up a citizen and they
Yeah.
count that as,
They arrest us.
Oh, you found out that he's
Oh.
a cop. God damn it.
Shit.
you're getting castrated.
All right. So just so you guys know, and this is what you've heard in Gosterwick. So the Halls of Arden Vul lie within within a massive rock plateau that looms over the valley of the Swift River. And from the top of the plateau, the Swift River drops 1,500 feet to the valley floor. Okay, so carved in the face of the cliff is a set of broad steps that winds upward through 3 cutbacks until it reaches the top of the plateau. This is the infamous long stair, which varies in width, you're told, from 5 feet to 50 feet in wide. Now, the long falls, they're visible in a clear day from many miles away. And see, it's audible from 3 miles away with a dull buzzing sound in the distance at 2 miles. It's a sustained white noise as loud as a person speaking. At 1 mile, the white cloud of mist and moisture, roughly 200 yards in diameter, becomes evident, and the sound is loud enough to impede conversation. All right, so you're having trouble talking. So beneath the falls, you're guessing that conversation will be basically impossible. These falls, they're about a mile away from Gosterwick. All right, just so you're aware of it. And you have the vague outline of the statues from Gosterwick, but as you guys are approaching, they become quite apparent. So the one representing Arden is just to the right of the falls, and on the east side of the river, while the other, representing Vul, stands another 400 yards further to the east. Okay? And they extend about a good 1,000, maybe 1,100 feet up the cliff face.
So it would take like is it like 3-day trip to get to the top of this?
Yep. What? Your initiative tracker. See if you guys
Yodel as we go up there. Awesome.
Got a fucking mountain goat.
up. You guys start. So it's daytime.
Jesus, here come the wolves.
We're level 1, it should be giant rats.
Yeah. Should be just slugs.
Giant rats.
Okay.
Vampires it is.
So-
okay.
Oh, shit. Just a second.
So, you guys are climbing up, and you make it to basically. You can grab the pointer here. Right about here to the first switchback.
Yeah. Base
Okay.
camp. I want to go to McDonald's.
Everyone, do a perception check. Wisdom.
Everybody.
Everyone.
I can't roll above a 10 tonight.
I'm doing really well now. My fighter didn't pass because
Me.
he's
I got a 6 and a 7.
I got a 12 and a 5.
I got a 7 and a 19, but the cleric got the 19s.
Okay, the clerk. What's his name?
Aldrich.
Aldrich. Actually, what's the marching order?
My little
You probably go first. 'Cause
My
you're-
note's going to be pretty far back.
Baldwin can go in the front.
my illusionist is in the middle.
Do you want my Uther at the very back?
Sure, rear
Yeah, I'll use the
Strong arm.
Phantom will be the
Okay,
second
so we're
row
going.
back.
And
Baldwin.
Merlin in the middle.
One is Baldwin.
2 is Aldrich.
3 Calder.
2 is Aldrich. Okay.
3 is Caldir.
Alright, Calder. 4.
Merlin.
So you guys are doing single file because it's a lot of times 5.
5 is Phantom Veil.
5 is Phantom. Okay.
6 is Uther.
Uther. So that's the single. All right. So it's. I'm just gonna make this the names 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's single. Now, when you guys get into possible double, what's it going to be?
Lucianus will pair up with the what do you have, fighter?
Yeah.
He'll pair up with the fighter.
So fighter is 1, and who's beside him?
Calder would be 3.
Calder. So
yeah.
1 and 3, and then who's the next row?
Aldrich will go in the next row with.
Okay.
Yeah.
2, and who else would be with? So who will be with Aldrich?
Are we putting Uther there?
What's Uther again?
He's the fighter. Or are we putting Merlin there?
Put Merlin in there.
So we got 2 fighters.
We have 2 fighters.
Okay.
Yeah, so put
Put Uther at the back.
and Uther would be with Phantom.
Are we gonna put Merlin in the middle here? Then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Uther
Okay,
and
so Merlin is number 4, and then so I'm just here's what I'm doing. I just
Yeah.
numbered people. So this is
fine.
the single file, and then so for double, and then so obviously then
5 and 6 will be
5 and 6 will be
the back.
behind. So it looks like this, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll just go like we'll just keep that. So good. All right. So Aldrich just freezes, and then so Aldrich he's second in line. He freezes, so everyone behind him stops, and Aldrich whispers up. He goes, Baldwin, and then he says, get back, get against the wall, and he goes back against the wall, and he goes like, what the fuck, and he's crouching down and he's hiding, and then you guys see off in the distance a winged figure, green.
Oh.
Crest.
And it's Crast. So the full name of this asshole.
Our first encounters with the fucking dragon.
Okay,
Did
is
why?
Crastonistorix.
Did you forget that we were level 1? We haven't played this yet.
So
We're not level
anyway,
10. What is his name? Crast.
just call him Crast. 2
Crast.
A's. Crast.
Crass.
And so you see him flying off in the distance, and then he veers up above the plateau, and from what you can tell, it's kind of hard because you're going up a vertical surface. He goes up and back behind, and so that's what you notice. So that there is, and it was obviously a large green dragon. So yeah,
It was a butterfly.
there's that. And
Cool. Well, we know the dragon's real.
the dragon is real.
So that guy on the street was pretty much telling us the truth. So
Yep.
You told us some truth.
Yeah.
didn't you?
Okay.
this is him
So-
remote control. They believe my shit.
All right. So you want to get to the first area where it's for camping. You guys make it to the first area to camp, and there is no one there. And what you find is a bunch of firewood stacked inside, and it's kind of weird because no one mentioned to you that this is kept by anyone. All right, firewood, a ring for a fire, and it's not a deep cave, but it's enough back in that you're not going to get, because you're getting wet from the mist. All right, and so it's an opportunity to dry off. So you
And
guys
not be seen by a dragon.
manage to get there, and so you're spending the night. It's about 6 p.m. and so now we're going other encounters here.
You gonna
Okay.
set guard.
So you see a large goat come walking up the path, and this is before you guys even fall asleep. It's not even 8 p.m. All right, it's getting dark, but it's just like a large mountain goat, but not like a scary large, just like
Just a random goat.
just a random
Tasty
goat.
No reins or anything on it.
Nothing.
Want to kill it for food?
We can try. Probably some god.
Could be
About
that
to
too.
die.
Yeah, giving us a warning.
Are you gonna do anything or what?
You guys want to supplement our food supplies? Anybody speak goat?
I can't believe I rolled a fucking goat.
Oh, he's trying to trick us now.
No, the account says nothing, or goats or sheep.
I just
That roll.
Okay.
I
Pull up my
just
heavy crossbow.
Okay.
Target it and probably
Alright.
miss
A
because
little bit of goat hunting.
yeah.
God knows how horrible I am at shooting.
One.
14.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Yay! This is both D10. No, that's just-
Does it fall off the narrow stairs?
No. 4.
Okay, that's
What?
enough to kill it.
No.
So,
4 plus 2, actually 6.
all right. Well,
No, just 4. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong
the
one.
goat just drops. Okay, and looking around, there's nothing going on. No one sees me coming looking for a goat. It's fine there. So
Slip out there and drag
it
the
in.
goat back and then
Okay.
skin it up and save the horns.
I guess we're roasting a goat.
Yep.
yes, you guys don't
Keep
have to
that.
use any rations.
Keep the fur because I'm going to turn it into some nice woolly pants.
Right.
Some chaps.
What's your watch orders? The same as the this order here.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So
Anything
everyone
happen
gets
when you're watching?
2. Okay. You wake up. Nothing happened through the night, and you resume. So you're going up to the next. So you don't want to get to this one here. Beyond just like a rest, that you want to spend the night at this one up here. All right.
So this is like day 2 of traveling to get
This
us
is
to the
day
second.
2. Exactly. Well, while you're here,
And there's no one else on the during our watches when there's no one else walking down the path at all.
no, not yet.
Just a fucking goat.
Just
Okay.
okay. Now, before you go, there is the statue is really close by. Like the shoulder is roughly 100 feet from the path.
So not quite jumping distance.
No,
You
does
try
everyone
it.
have- but I'm just bringing this up. That just so you know that at that point, if you had climbing gear, you think someone who's skilled would be able to get over there.
I have a grappling hook and 5 piton spikes.
I have rope.
Yeah. And the rope, obviously.
If you wanted to, for whatever reason.
I have a bag of dust.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, moving on up.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's clue, guys.
Yeah, I don't have a problem going there.
When we make money, we're gonna get some hiking
Sure.
gear.
Okay. So moving on up.
I honestly thought that when you first showed that to us, that you hand drew those.
So did I.
What the hell are you doing on your retirement? Drawing shitty.
Alrighty.
And I thought your kids were artists, so
So-
why are you not?
Just a quick question. On the other side of the waterfall line, there's another switchback that only goes halfway up.
Yes. So this used to be. You would have heard about this. This used to be a way in back in the day when Arden Vul was, in its prime. However, there's been cave-ins that have wrecked this part here.
Oh,
and so
so
there's no way.
rock falls and stuff.
Yeah, there's no way to get there.
So a bunch of it's collapsed.
Yes.
Okay.
So if someone had money and wanted to spend
Eternity.
money in eternity fixing that, they might be able to get into this entrance. This used to be an entrance, but
Is that an entrance at the waterfall there?
I wonder if that's where the sword is.
Or is it?
Yeah, is there a cave entrance just in partway up the
Dave
waterfall?
goes back to the story.
well, there's something there. Something over here. These are things that you can
Explore.
maybe explore someday, sometime.
Fucking hell.
All right.
I hate that we're can't get to half this cool shit.
Exactly.
Can't fight a plane.
That's the problem.
I cast Fly.
I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. You guys can keep making your way up. Don't wait for me.
You're gonna have to catch up.
Just
Double time it.
don't kill all the goats.
I'm surprised the goat didn't turn into a monster and kill us.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright, moving on up. Moving on up to the west side.
No, I think Dave's rolling to see for monsters.
Oh yeah. Let's go with another cat.
Look very carefully for the dragon again, please.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Some ambushers in that next little cave.
Right.
Where's the wood come from? Like, are people hiking that wood up? Good God.
Other parties.
So we didn't bring the outward jerks.
Yeah.
You make it without incident near the end of the day to the second switchback. So you find another. You make it up to here. Shit, hang on, I forgot to tell you some stuff. So this one here, which is the first night. It's a load chamber that once served as a customs post. That's where you had the sheep. Okay, so not a big deal. When you got to here, is that the ancient? Yeah, you know that this was an ancient guard post. A stone door originally opened into a small H-shaped barracks, and the door has been smashed and it lies in shards. The entrance passageway is 20 feet wide and 20 feet deep and is littered with bits of trash, got broken canteens and scraps of leather, etc. All right. Let's see here. The two arms of the barracks are choked with thick, ropey cobwebs, but not like dangerously scary big.
Sure.
Right? However, it hasn't been disturbed in some time. Did you want to do anything in here?
You want to search it?
I'm gonna cast dancing orbs just to kind of light it up a bit. I'm just gonna like
Okay, so
throw
go
it
in there.
while
All
it
right.
does.
You see some glinting in the distance that looks like chainmail. You think
Doesn't blink.
armor? No, it doesn't blink. It's reflecting the orb light. Okay. And
But nothing
There's
nothing reacts to the orbs. when
no,
they go
there's
in?
like and the chain is on a body. You can tell it's obviously dead.
Fighter, get in there. Both fighters, get in there. Go all the way
I
down.
will carefully walk in
And as they do it, turn the lights off.
with a torch.
Okay, so you could like sort of use the torch to sort of burn your way through the webs.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. So it takes you about a whole turn to burn away a path.
Jesus Christ.
And what you find is the skeleton of a dwarf, still clothed in chainmail, clutching a warhammer.
Ooh.
Okay,
Who
and
wants
there's
the
a
warhammer?
pouch that's kind of rotted, and in it is a vial filled with a light blue powder, and it has sparkling motes in it.
Phantom would like.
Any random black thing swimming around in it?
No,
Should
not
they-
black shit.
You know that's still causing chaos in that castle.
It's killing people in
In the sewage.
in the sewer and in the lower part of the town.
Yeah. So it looks like a vial for a potion, yet it's a powder in there.
Lucianus will like to.
Okay,
look at
so
that.
you're gonna examine it.
Yeah.
All right, make a roll.
I'm doing con or just intelligence.
Intelligent.
Intelligence.
All right.
My intelligent guy will do that too.
All right, go for it.
Fuck me.
No thanks.
12, but it's a prime for me.
Yeah,
Oh.
I only get
Okay.
12 as a prime as well.
So the illusionist looks at you, says, "I've heard of this.
Mortality.
These are all you need to do is add water, and it turns into a potion."
Like a health
Like a
buff.
fucking
You suspect-
MRE potion.
It says, I think this one turns into a potion of extra healing, if I recall.
And the chainmail like worth salvaging to sell in the Warhammer, or are they basically robbed?
They are. They're rusted, but it could be treated up a bit. The Warhammer's fine. You can. The chainmail's size for a dwarf. All right.
How desperate are we for money? Do we want to haul this up the mountain and try to sell it to somebody up there?
Or just leave it here and hope
Yeah.
it's still there on the way down.
Yeah.
Like, why haul it up if we're gonna have to haul it back?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you have then are 2 potions. Oh, sorry, no.
Oh, what was that? Three potions?
6 potions.
Oh, 8 potions. Wow. Fine.
Potion of extra healing.
Okay. 1 extra healing potion.
It's a Warhammer fancy special, anything? or
Anybody
just a
take?
regular
Anybody take the Warhammer?
I say somebody should bring it along.
Yeah,
just
somebody
in
should.
case.
One of you guys should have it. Fighters should have it.
My cleric will take it.
Sure.
All right. Put down a Warhammer there, buddy. You got a Warhammer now.
A dwarf Warhammer.
Dun 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 dun. Dwarf hammer.
Okay. All right. So you make it up to this area here, which is a small cave. Again, a rest area, and again, don't meet anyone. Okay.
Not even a goat.
And so it's nighttime at the end of the second day.
Oh my god, can you imagine how fucking bad our legs are burning for
Oh, yeah.
2 days of going up this fucking carrying all our gear and wearing our armor and weapons and
So
It's not so bad for Merlin. He's got nothing.
spending the night.
Just a heavy dagger and a staff.
Yep, same, pretty much.
All
How
right.
many hit points do you have?
6.
Yeah, same. We're gonna be hiding together.
Yep.
so we're camping in that last
Yeah.
alcove
Yep.
chamber.
Okay. So the night passes. Nothing happens. Okay. Anything special you want to do? We're moving on.
So this is just a featureless chamber. There's no.
Yeah. Again, in deep enough to not get wet. Again, more firewood. Strangely, not sure what's going on there. A bunch of rocks to put to make a circle to do the fire. No animal droppings or scat or anything like that.
No human droppings either.
No human droppings either.
Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Okay. So
Fucking homeless man that's chat in the cave.
moving forward.
Fucking dumbass homeless.
All
There
right.
seems to be another hole up there.
Yeah, in the middle of the nowhere.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep, right there.
Can we climb over to it?
All right. Climbing on up. Here we go.
Damn it. I guess we can.
Oh no, an ice storm hit. You're all slipped down. All the way down to the bottom.
Okay. So you guys are almost at the top, and you see a bunch of knights in beautiful plate mail,
Do they see us?
and they see you. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. And it's blue, like a light blue. Maybe someone might call it azure color.
As
Alright.
your knights.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, what great.
Yeah. And you see there's a troop of 10 of them. Okay.
Fireball.
Did you just say fireball? So they all right, they hail you and you at this point
I don't even have the energy. I'm just like,
We're like wheezing.
Yeah!
say, oh,
must be nice.
so
Yeah,
you're making the
horses.
long trek up, eh?
That's for sure.
And,
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
So you say, what news do you guys bring? Where are you from?
They asking us, or is...
Yeah, they're asking
I
you guys.
thought- Okay.
Well, I mean, we're just adventurers from, what was this place we're at? Gastric? Gosteric? Yeah, we're just adventurers coming through Gosteric, and we're here, I mean, based on other adventures, that there's tons of riches here. It's a nice place to visit, so...
Be a lot nicer if it was a lot lower.
It'd be cool if you guys had an elevator of some sort. Great.
And he says yes, or some kind of conveyance to fly would be good. He says,
But
agreed.
I asked them, I'm like, are you guys on guard here? Do you guys run this area?
He says, no, we were just up on top. We went to Kronos's inn. Lady Alexia had asked us to go and talk to that innkeeper. So he said, have you guys been up top ever before?
Nope.
He says, well, my advice is get to the inn as soon as possible. Be careful at night. There's some scary ass baboons that come out at night, some white ones, and they're huge and have 4 arms. He
I
says,
had 4 arms too.
so he says, just you want to avoid those ones. They're nasty. But you want to get to the inn. Kronos, he could tell you all sorts of rumors that are going on up there, or his wife, Estelle. They're the 2 owners of the inn, and that's where a lot of people, adventurers such as yourselves, go, and they might bring treasure to trade. Or
What's the inn called?
Kronos.
It's just called Kronos.
Inn of Kronos. Yeah, I think. I might be wrong on that though. I'll know at the next map. So he said,
Time will tell.
yeah.
I ask, you guys, have you helped out a lot of people with these baboons and stuff like that?
He says, well, not recently. We just haven't run into them. We're just.
Because I heard it's kind of your nature that you guys help out a lot of people.
He says, well, yes, of course. As are healed knights.
What's your name?
Fuck.
I always enjoy that as a fellow DM. Ah, shit.
God damn it.
Krazor.
Damn it.
My name is Krazor.
Krazor.
Krazor. Gotta write this down.
Krazor. Just so I can say his name around town to see if anybody is out.
So he's like some sort of lowly ranked knight who's leading a patrol.
He's leading a patrol. Yeah, he's a sergeant leading the patrol.
I'm just going to ask around to see if these guys have helped out.
Seen the dragon flying around?
He says, we saw one the other day, and so you know, it's always good to carry a bit of extra money with you, just to Krast, he's a hungry dragon, but he's also hungrier for gold. So if you have something of value for him, word is that he lets you go on. Some people even work for the damn thing, going searching for various treasure items that he wants. I don't know what a dragon could do with treasure, magical items, but who knows the mind of a green dragon, or any dragon for that matter. Right. And so he says, well, just a reminder to always follow the laws. We are the enforcers here, and if you come across anything that we should know about, please come and see me.
Oh, you won't help us out?
You mean help you off the cliff? And he laughs and he's just joking.
Totally.
Just joking. No. But one more thing. He says, it's a good idea. I know other adventurers have searched the various pieces of ruins and towers and stuff. He said, I've heard of some nasty undead creatures along there, so just be careful. Kronos. He can tell you of a way to get down into Arden Vul.
So he's telling us. Baldwin says he asked. So you're telling us that the upper part of the ruins of Arden Vul are infested with some undead and some are powerful, and at night, these apes, cave apes or whatever, come out and hunt at night.
Yep.
Okay. So those are that feels like two important things to know.
Yeah. He says anything else you got to be wary of. The cavemen, those uncivilized asshats. You never know what they're up to. And then he goes, and then there you have the beastmen, human in body but heads of beasts. He says they're not necessarily itching for a fight. They can be negotiated with, but and they were more than willing to trade. So just be, if you run into them, don't do anything stupid because they're very militarily trained. We've run into them, and they have our respect. He says, and so we will trade with them if we can, but we don't really know how to get to them.
So there's a bunch of factions. So there's beastmen, there's cavemen, there's ape men,
and
undead,
and X-Men.
Yeah, and a fucking dragon.
And the dragon.
So best of luck, and when you get to the top, don't tarry. Make a run for not run. And he says, run for the inn. After all, you aren't knights in the Azure Shield. And they all laugh and start marching off.
I hope he tripped down the hill. All right.
Right.
Get to the inn there.
All right. So
Sometimes running just makes things chase you.
sometimes it does.
This is where Merlin dies because he can't run as fast as everybody else.
Help me, help.
top speed of 20.
Help me.
All right. Where are we here?
We're inside the treasure cove.
The one with all the magic items.
We went right to the center of Arden Vul. We're fine. 1,100 pages of maps.
While we were walking away, I'll chat with the other characters and just sort of discuss how. So the top's infested with undead beastmen, ape men, and ferocious cave people. And is the top worse than what's underneath?
Thought it were you when we were doing Duero Deep. You're like, and there's just like long, slender, spiny fingered looking. Like, what the fuck is that?
Just the salt bats. I remember the salt bats.
The salt bats,
going
yeah.
back.
But just like we round the corner, we just see this thing walking around away from us. We're like, the fuck was that?
Didn't those things drop strings and drag us up to the
Oh,
ceiling?
that was our second
That's the
encounter.
very first.
That was our second encounter.
Yeah.
Dave lost his sword.
Fishers, yeah. And then when you had to go back to town, the watch guy was laughing.
Just laughing
Back
at us.
already, eh? He just sort of got there and turned around.
All our henchmen were dead after the first visit. Where's your Cyclops dude? Well, he became a meat shield.
Shit.
See how we kept that going so there was no dead silence to give Dave a chance?
Yeah.
He seems to be lost.
Now that guy's mega dungeons aren't obviously the same size as this, but he also has 5 or 6 of them. Like, and they're all like that. Yeah.
Like the amount of time you have to spend on that to...
He's got one called the Barrow Maze, which would be amazing. I've read it and I always wandered on it. It looks really fun.
And like you said, if you're playing almost every week, how long would that would take years to finish?
No. The thing is, I gotta retire now or I'm never gonna get through all the fucking games I want.
Yeah. That's crazy. But that's the time and effort to put that all in and to make it complete.
Yeah.
That's...
Well, I just realized that the current map that I need is not on here.
Theater of the mind.
There we go.
So here we go.
Yep.
Theater of the mind.
Can you show us that on the map?
I can't quite visualize that. Can you show us?
I can't believe it's not on here. God damn it.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, well. Here it is. But there isn't a player's version.
Well, we won't look at the fine details.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Where the treasure is.
You could trust us.
So,
It looks like a dragon head.
all right. So, you get up to the top. You reach something right in front of you as it comes up, and you see this gate. So, this gate opens to the long stair, which you just came up. You see on the gate there's two towers. The west tower is mostly rotted inside. It has a shell of stone on the outside, and there's rubble, shards of wood, and cobwebs. Okay. Now, you can explore it if you want. And then there's the east tower to the gate, and it's suffered a lot more damage. The northern face of the tower is still standing, but the southern face has collapsed, and the side facing the cliff. All right. And so the interior of this tower has been completely destroyed.
Now he said, "Hurry to the inn."
Yeah.
Do we want to explore and risk running into some bad shit?
Well, do we even have money to spend at the end?
We have enough for a couple of days.
I think so, yeah.
Stayed. Well, depending on the prices up here. God knows what the fucking prices are up here. There's probably not a lot of competition, so I
Oh,
don't.
one copper piece? Yeah, you may sleep, but you may not wake up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. There's a monkey fucking
We're gonna have to
piece of
sleep
death.
in the fucking stable with the horses and mules.
Okay, so the inn, they told you, actually it's not called Kronos, it's called the Sign of the Broken Head.
Oh, like the
Okay.
sign of the broken in.
Sign of the Broken Head. So, what you see is so each squares is a destroyed road pathway, but still it's about 50 foot wide, and it goes quite the distance. So let's see here. So 1,000 and like roughly 1,200 feet away. All right, so a huge distance, really. And then, so straight north, but then over to slightly to the west. You can see the one building that really looks in shape, and it's small in the distance. All right. There's a pyramid structure right in the way, which you can see right here from here. Okay. There are other obelisks that have, for some reason, managed to stay upright, but everything else is in ruins. Okay. Now, you have the roadway. To the left of it, you have the Swift River, and it forms a bit of a lake. To the left of it, we got some swamp area even, but we got a bunch of different places that you could technically explore if you wanted to, but I assume you guys are
Just head to the inn.
you're heading to the end. All right. As you're going down, you travel about 200 feet, and you come across this obelisk. So this is one of 3 huge granite obelisks that used to rise above the city, and you can see the other 2 over to your left. Although weather beaten, this one still stands proudly amid the utter ruin around it. It's a 10-foot square at its base and rises 35 feet into the air. It is incised with bands of inscriptions and images. Now, what languages did you guys choose? Did we talk about that, right? when we did the session 0.
Yeah, I have common, goblin, orc, and Arcantin.
Arconian.
Accordion, yeah.
Did anyone choose Mithric?
Boom!
Okay.
Illusionist, yeah.
So, you can
Anybody's
see.
smart enough to speak more than that.
I don't speak no well.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I picked Mithric, I just did.
The inscriptions are in Mithric, and they contain references to the 12, the major imperial deities of antiquity. All right, Thoth, Set, a bunch of others. Okay. For the first 8 feet of its height, the images are largely of humans interacting with large lizards, of humans riding on lizards, of humans putting various creatures to the sword, and so forth. All right. Above this, the level of images turn to a single theme: the sun. However, there is an exception. In a wide band of stone on the south face of the obelisk at about 5 feet height, this band is completely clear, save for a deeply incised image of an ankh. Now, you know, is that how you pronounce it? Anka?
A-N-K?
Yeah, A-N-K-H.
Or
Ankh. Yeah, I think it's Ankh, yeah.
Moon Knight,
And it's about-
Moon Knight Ankh.
Yeah, it's about 1 foot tall, and running above the Ankh shape is the following inscription: "The beacon shall be revealed to those who bring midday life to the sun, the moon, and the stars." The beacon shall be revealed to those who bring midday life to the sun, the moon, and the stars. Are you guys gonna linger?
Did we notice any other people around the town, like or around this area?
Or corpses, the
Not
tracks.
right now, no.
Like it's all kind of worn out.
It's just ruins everywhere.
It's ruins
ruins
everywhere.
A couple obelisks
With
and
with one in.
Yeah.
like a ziggurat pyramid. in
Yes,
the
exactly.
distance.
Yeah, that you could be heading straight and probably going to go. You have to go past. Plus,
Oh, we have to
a
go
river.
past it to get to the end.
Yes, river and lake on your left. Small lake, very small lake on your left.
Is it getting close to night? Are we getting close to night?
No, not yet.
I think we just keep going. We have to find that in.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Okay.
the Calder is getting the freaky look or feeling.
When we get caught out here, we're gonna be fighting shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Keep your eyes
next
peeled.
you come across this boulevard of knowledge, and it's a 50-foot wide boulevard paved with large cobblestones, and it leads from the long stair to other area. Now the cobblestones are buckled and cracked with age, and trees grow out of the cracks. And ancient oak trees line the boulevard on either side. There are 4 on each side.
And again, no
We're keeping our eyes peeled while we're
That's
moving.
fucking weird.
Okay.
All right, keep going.
Right. Everyone make a perception check.
Here we go.
First monkey fight.
My first crappy roll. Oh, but I still, because it's a prime for Aldrich, he rolled a 9 again, which is a 12 on the button.
I rolled a 21.
17 for one,
Oh,
and 19 for the other.
who gives a shit about Phantom? Caldar rolled a 21.
Okay. So you don't really notice anything. This place used to have.
21 and 19 don't see anything. Okay.
Well, there's nothing to see.
Oh, okay.
So
We're just
like
afraid.
this used to be a walled area, but there's huge gaps in the walls, right? All right, and there's towers periodically, but again, you don't see anything worth. Well, nothing pops out at you.
What's the point of it, sir?
Okay.
Just to scare us, I think.
Well, yeah.
Want to murder some baboon?
So, you eventually reach this 200 foot by 200 foot square. All right, and you have heard about this place from rumors of Arden Vul that this used to be called the Grand Forum, and it used to be a well-maintained site for imperial announcements, public discussions, and business. All right. However, it now resembles a war zone. Stumps of pillars broken off between 3 feet and 8 feet in height line the outer borders. The busts that sat on these pillars line the pavement, staring unceasingly at you. But their eyes aren't moving, so it's all good. Small trees have grown up here and there, and stumps of larger ones dot the pavement. Only 3 large trees remain, including a massive and ancient oak in the center, and 2 majestic maples in the southern section. Okay. The paving stones are tilted, stained, and cracked. Moving on.
Moving on up. Moving on up.
Now, to the right, you do see a tower. A pair of, and this tower is actually 40 feet square and looms 45 feet above the forum, and a pair of massive bronze doors are in front of you. They are shut. There are no windows in the tower until the final 10 feet.
Keep moving.
All right, moving on.
That sounds like interesting later, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we're not level 1, interesting. I feel like that's a mage's tower or something.
Okay, you eventually get to what's called the Pyramid of Thoth. It's enormous. It's 90 feet square, 45 feet high, and it occupies its own square, and it's just north of the forum. Okay, you can skirt around it. The Imperial Road continues north, but there's another road that heads east. But you want to go northwest towards where the inn is. Okay? So, you continue on.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens. And so, you are now in a position where you can follow the road and you'll come to another gate. Or you can cut at a 45-degree angle and head straight towards the inn.
Straight towards the end. Straight towards the end.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna die.
It's a trap. It's just a mirage. There is no end.
We just fell in a big hole.
We're just delirious and confused of where we're at.
So, as you guys go, you pass this this ruins of an urban residence, and it's complete ruin. Do you want to go in, or do you want to pass it by?
Like it's just a pile of rubble? Like
Yeah,
rubble?
but you think you could get inside to explore it if you wanted to.
Is there anything that we see that's shiny and cool looking?
Any white fur on the edges of the door frame?
Do you want to check? Just have a quick peek perception check just to see.
Sure.
Just a
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Nat 20.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 18.
So
And a 14.
So who got the
I
22?
did 22. My Uther.
Uther. So Uther peeks in there and he's looking, and he says, "You guys, I think there might be a cellar here we can get into." Just saying, I think I see a cellar door.
One.
So like stairs down and a door
Yeah,
in the ruins.
in these rooms.
Okay.
How much time do we have before the sun goes down? And how close is the inn?
You guys are about 30 minutes away from the inn, and you've got about 2 hours.
Ooh, plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Let's kick a door.
Let's make sure it's not going to collapse on us when we kick the door.
Phantom is going to basically stay inside, but like close to the door, just to make sure nothing is following us or nothing sneaks
All
up
right,
on
do
us.
a perception check.
Who's carrying a torch?
What's perception again, sir?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay, not a prime, but for Phantom.
Yeah, we got to get used to not calling it by skills, right?
To 13. 14 overall.
Oh yeah, I guess I have to say wisdom check, don't I?
I do it too because there's no skills in this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
14 overall.
Okay. So you see some birds flying by, but they don't seem peculiar or odd behaving.
So he'll just stay on watch while everyone else kind of, anybody else does. Calder goes in to the
Crawls
fort.
down to the cellar.
Okay, so you very carefully make your way down, and you get to the cellar, and there's a door there, and it is very swollen with moisture, but doesn't appear to be locked.
Can we listen at the side of the door?
Sure, do a listen check. Wisdom.
Help me.
12, so 14.
Okay, is it a prime or not?
No.
No. Okay, seems quiet.
You abandoned me.
As we look around the door frame, is there any fear that something's going to collapse on us if we try to force this door?
Make an intelligence check. Is that a
Can I
prime?
have my wizard do that? Because that is his prime.
Sure.
15 plus 3, 18 plus 1.
Yeah, so your wizard says, I think we can open it. I don't see any risk unless, it's rigged with a trap on the other side, but, that's possible at any door.
Alright.
What are you guys going to do?
You guys want to force it?
Sure. Get our fighters get in there.
All right.
Break that shit down.
All right. So you managed to pull it open. It's that's easy enough with 2 fighters. Okay. The cellar is partly filled with rubble. It includes several items of note, including 3 broken marble statues, each about 6 foot tall,
Shit.
as well as the marble right leg of a huge statue of what you guess to be either Arden or Vul. That is somewhere on this plaza that you saw one earlier. Okay. And you think that if you could reassemble these and find the right buyer, that you would actually be able to make a lot of money. All right.
Yeah, that's going to be fun taking it down.
Oh yeah, I tried to drag these.
Big marble statues.
Dragging these out of here.
I gotta float it over the waterfall, guys. It'll be fine. We're obviously not going to be carrying these suckers with us.
No.
So we'll just shut the door and.
So can we explore the room though a little bit? Like
Yes.
Search the room with a
That's probably
with a
smart
with a
idea.
torch. And
Sure.
Just check all the corners, all the walls,
All right.
all the doors.
Go. Make a wisdom check. It's wisdom, right? For perception.
Well, 10.
That was useless. Oh my god, 2 twos in a row.
So once again, he's done this 3 times. Aldrich got a 9. But it's wisdom is a prime for him, but he has a +2, so that makes 11, plus his level is 12. So as long as there's no penalties, he
Yeah.
succeeds.
Okay. You feel a draft coming out of the edge of one wall. And it looks like it's a wall, but it's not. And further exploration, you realize you found a secret door.
Ooh, secret door.
And you manage to slide it over to the right, and it's complete darkness. And when you put your torch in to just have a peek, you see a spiral staircase that leads downwards.
Oh.
All right, who's going first?
So Phantom realizes it's been a while since these guys have come up from the cellar. So I go to the staircase and yell down, "Everything all right down there, guys? Everyone good?"
Found some cool shit. Found a secret secret stairway behind a door.
Well, fuck this guard post. Coming on down.
We found a bunch of probably,
Okay.
valuable statues, but we don't know how to get them out of here.
Yeah, so I come into the room and I see the statues. I'm like, oh shit.
All right, so are you guys going to start going down?
Yeah,
yeah.
let's do it.
We
Okay.
can do our regular order.
Yep,
Just
regular
so
order.
Dave doesn't have to
Same
write it all
with
out again.
So, single file.
Yep.
It's a narrow stair. You guys go down 30 feet. 20 feet, you think, okay, well, that's a level, right? You go down another 20 feet. So now it's 40. And go down another 20, so it's 60. Move down another 20. 80.
If we fucking go all the way down the cliff, I'm gonna be pissed.
And
Open the door at the bottom.
How fast?
and you pause for a little rest, and just with your torch, and it is absolute dust. There isn't any markings of people of passage coming up these stairs. Okay, stone stairs going down, and your torch, is looking down, you can just see it still keeps winding and winding and winding down. You're 80 feet down. It's tiring. Time's
we can
passing.
sleep down here.
Yeah.
Nothing's finding us.
You cannot sleep and rest on stairs.
Yeah, you can. I do it all the time. No, I mean,
I see the stairs of the apartment building.
yeah,
all the time.
exactly. Shut up.
You have not come across a single landing.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my
It just continues
batons
to go
to
down.
nail them into each side and make a hammock. I can sleep.
I'm gonna make up another torch
Okay.
and just drop it.
Okay. So,
Oh God! I suddenly have this vision of some of your former stories, and something
I
flaming
actually
down
need
below.
I need a calculator to calculate this out. That's how. So you count, and it'll drop about 10 feet a second. You count to 15 to hear a boom, and you can see this very small pin of light.
Jesus.
Well,
Fool of a toque.
shit.
That's a long way down.
Do we come back here later? Because if we're committed to going down here, like,
I mean, obviously no one's been down here, so obviously we know about it. We're the only ones probably knowing about this,
Yeah.
so...
but we're not going to get to the end tonight if we go here, and then we're going to have to
Yeah.
start testing.
But we might not get to the end of the night now that we've spent so much time.
How long has it
Going
passed? How long has
down.
time passed since we've been down there?
Um,
We're a half hour away from the end. 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours away from the...
you guys have been You guys have been going down the stairs for what, half an hour?
Yeah, so I mean...
So a half hour going
So
back
if we
up.
go back up, then we
Yeah.
still have an hour
Yeah.
to get to the end.
Yeah.
Should we?
We
do
need to go
abandon this
back.
for
Yeah.
now?
We're playing it safe.
Close the secret door.
Yeah.
Okay. Write down found secret door at AV-18.
That fucking goes down deep.
And this was part of a rubble of...
AV what?
AV-18.
This was the rubble of a kind of like an old mansion, old residence.
Yes.
Probably something we're not supposed to find yet.
I think this whole place can be categorized as that.
Yeah. The
okay.
fact that it's been dusty and no one's been... Obviously no one knows about this spot, so... Other than the people that just got hit by my fire.
So we shut our secret door.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
Dust off any tracks, try to block it so it's hard to see.
Yeah.
All right.
Cover up our statues.
Moving
Yep,
on.
shut that door so that our statues
Wedge
are
that
in there.
door
Because if we
shut.
find somebody who buys old statues, we know where some are.
Okay.
So before the group gets out, Phantom goes up and kind of takes a look around just to make sure no one's there or any beast or...
Can we set something on the door so we'll know if someone else has been there?
Yeah, like
Do
put a
like a
little
little-
piece of rubble against it
Yeah.
so if it moves, it's falling over.
Yeah,
Sure.
just something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You've not succeeded at any single roll tonight,
No,
have
1. I've got a 9.
Maybe we should go to the hardware store and buy one of those little miniature vices.
Jesus
And we'll
Christ.
just put them in there. We'll just bust these dice up if they're bad.
Yep, roll 9.
Okay, so you guys, after half an hour, your legs are burning yet again. A familiar feeling.
We spent a lot of time on stairs in the last 4
Okay.
days.
Our legs were like this.
Yeah, we don't skip.
We
leg
were
day.
out.
We love leg day. All right, so you're passing by some more partly intact structures, but you only got an hour worth of daylight. Did you want to?
Yeah, I don't think so.
We start speed walking to the
We
end.
don't want to be distracted.
Okay.
If we were going to do that, we would have just kept going down the stairs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go back?
Yeah, fuck this. Let's go.
Let's go back to the clearing.
All right. You finally get to the inn. So you find this inn. As you're approaching it, you see it's built on a foundation of old stone, and it seems to be like an L-shaped figure. And the one central structure seems to be 30 feet by 40 feet, and I'm guessing 25 feet high. The other part of it is 20 by 20 by 12 feet. That part of the L, and it projects out to the southwest. So the main structure is fort-like, with no windows on the ground, on the stone ground story, and only a few narrow windows set in the wooden second floor. So it resembles like a blockhouse. The connected L is a stable with a 15-foot wide door. And you see several less fortified outbuildings scattered nearby, including one you're guessing is a smokehouse, judging from the smoke coming out of it, and some storehouses.
Fortified outhouse.
Okay. Now, at the front door, you see a colossal head of Arden the Defender, which someone has, looks like they've scavenged from this area, because there used to be a statue of Arden, and you've already found one part of her.
We found the leg.
Yeah.
And it goes with this head that somebody's dragged.
Yeah, you think so. All right.
So if someone knows about.
The head is 6 feet in diameter with oval staring eyes.
So the piece of leg we found hidden in that building is massive. Yeah. Like we need to hire a whole team of people and excavate the building and fucking get ropes and mules and
exactly.
And way before that happens, we got to go down the stairs.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
With staring eyes and have empty of their insets, and it is depicted clad in a Corinthian helmet. All right.
That's what I have. No, I haven't.
So,
never mind.
When you go in, you are presented with a single smoky common room with a large fireplace and numerous sturdy wooden tables and legs. The place is lit by a fire, as well as 2 continued light spells. Okay. Cast on a couple of pebbles, which they use, and they just cover them up at nighttime. Cool. Upstairs is a large bunk room with 3 private rooms. Let's see here. And there are a number of people. The bunk room has enough room for 36 people. So everyone looks at you as you come in, and you see Kronos himself behind the bar. Okay, so here's the information that you eventually get. The rates for rooms are reasonable. A bed in the bunk room costs 10 silver a day or 3 gold pieces per week, whereas a private room is 3 gold pieces per day or 20 gold pieces a week. They do have a private room available if you want. Food's additional 2 silver pieces for a simple meal or 2 gold for a rich. He also sells kits of iron rations for, well, he tells you a price which is 3 times the cost in the player's head.
oh god.
Okay.
The only treasure we found in here so far is treasure we can't fucking carry.
I know, right?
Outside of that powdered potion we found.
Yeah. So you see there are 3 traders in there right now. You're guessing that they might have stuff to sell. Okay. You also find out that there are 3 statue brokers from the merchant factors of Newmarket, and they live here as permanent residents. And Their names are Cresarius, 3 legs. You just call him Cresarius. Venator, and Godric. And they tell you that they buy statues, old statues.
So, quick conference. Can we sell them the information about where we know some valuable statues are, or do we have to fucking bring them to them? Because, like, the 6-foot ones we could probably carry out of there and haul back, but that other big leg fucking piece, how, like.
But do you think we just do the small ones for now, and then we can talk about the big head that's above the door, and then find out like
what the leg would
yeah, and
for
if
the
they're
leg
like
first?
really, if they're interested in it and stuff like that, right?
So here's what they tell you, and they don't talk you together. They do not seem to be friends.
Oh, so they're so we can barter.
Yeah.
Against
Drive the price up.
We can split our party into halves and have one party go to one and then the other.
Okay.
So
I've got $2,000 over here.
so and they tell you like here's the general pricing for the size. If it's tiny, it'll be 25 gold pieces.
What's tiny? Like, give us a size.
Like this,
thing.
like this
Microphone?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Like a knick-knack size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small, like size of my
TV?
dog, TV, something like that would be worth 50 gold pieces. Medium, so like 6 feet tall, 100 gold pieces, and then larger than that, 200 in general.
So how many of those 6-foot ones were down there?
Six were there?
6.
Fuck,
Six.
we need that money.
You think?
I think we should immediately tell these guys that we're going to bring them some 6-foot
How well did we
statues.
How well did we cover that secret door too?
Yeah, we're not telling them where to find it.
We're not. Yeah, we're not telling them.
We're gonna-
We'll fucking tomorrow morning. We'll
Tell 'em
go. Just spend the day because there's only half.
Yeah.
Right. So there's 6 of us. So we'll carry. We'll just spend the day fucking carrying the 6
Well,
of them back.
let's split the party up.
I'm gonna go
Have
to
one
that.
party.
Well, there's more information that you learn from them.
Okay.
So they said you can get even more money depending on the subject of the statue. All right. So if it's unimportant, they'll add 25 gold. But if it's average, they'll add 50. If it's important, and when they say like the historical importance, right, 100. And if it's very important, 200. And then of course, like after you're talking to them, they're just like, well,
What about material? What it's made out of?
well, the quality. They say, yeah. So they say, if it's poor quality, we take those what we talked about here about the size and the subject, and they'll multiply the price by 2. If it's fair, we will multiply it by 5. If it's good, we'll multiply it by 10. But if it's exceptional, we'll multiply it by 20. And you guys know that it's very rare to find exceptional things because, well, it's old, right? I said, but that's what we're that's generally what we're going with. All right? He says, of course. He says, we expect you to haggle, all right? Because we'll be haggling, just being upfront.
So if we have 6 of them, times that by, what was it, 100, 200? 200?
I think so.
1,200 times that by
10. Assume they're reasonably good quality.
All right. So when you're speaking to Kronos, he's very friendly and engaging. All right. He tells you that the reason he and his wife Estelle have done this is to obviously make money from the adventurers that come here. They offer supplies.
I asked him though,
What's
like,
he know about these statue sellers? Is that what you were going to say?
no, I was going to ask him about the town.
Oh.
Just the village itself.
He says that he says my wife is a cleric, and you can purchase healing from her and other protective magic at certain rates. So, for example, she can just so you know, for example, cure light wounds. She, at the cost of 100 gold pieces. She can detect magic for 150. She can cure slow poison. She can cure blindness, cure disease. She can move a curse. She can cure serious wounds. She can neutralize poison. And she can also cast augury and protection from evil. She says, if
I heard
you...
ovary.
I ask him, like, how, like, is there a lot, no, other than adventurers, do people live up here?
Well, they do, and well,
yeah.
that's what she. So you guys want to talk to him?
And, like, how do you protect yourselves from, like, the craziness of all the different type of beastmen and all that crap?
The dragon.
All right, so
But I'm just shocked that you guys are able to live up here with all these dangers that come across at night.
so when you guys bring up the beastmen, he says, well, we're kind of not really friends with them, but we're not enemies either. We know that they're honorable.
And the inn's fortified, right? Like you said, the L was squared off with a wall and a...
Yeah, like the one part of it is like the one part is
No windows on the ground floor.
yeah, exactly. It is like a fortress. The L part is the stable and things like that.
But is the... Oh, I thought you
The whole
described the L.
the whole thing's shaped like an L.
Yeah.
There's two pieces. The big part is like the fortressy inn, and then the smaller part is the L with the stables and stuff like that. All right. So they tell you about the beastmen. They said like they're pretty honorable. When we do run into them, we will trade with them on occasion. But
They speak common.
yes, they do. And he said they must have a separate entrance into the halls because they don't go the way that we know of. All right. So you also asked them of Krast, and they say just be respectful if you catch his attention. Offer him some treasure or a big hunk of food, and generally he leaves people alone. Okay.
So, have we arranged with these guys that we're going to
Not yet.
haul these fucking statues
Okay.
back for them to look at?
Not yet.
So we just spend the next day
Doing that.
doing that, right? At least when we cap things off, we'll have some money,
True.
right? Because like fuck, we're destitute right now. Like,
So, he said there are other threats. He said there's a bunch of baboons that have taken over a tower in AV9 is what they're known. Okay. All right. I'm just telling you these numbers because God, there's so many of them that I'll forget. And there's some unknown deadly creatures at AV27. Which you guys, they said that's. He said, and they described the place. It's an area where the river splits off, and it's on an island. Okay, so there's no way you can miss that.
Stay away from the river. Okay. Okay.
All right, and they also tell you at 35, in the lake. They said there's giant crocodiles and a giant snapping turtle.
Cool.
Okay.
don't go swimming in the water.
Yeah. And of course, they said in general, all over the place, numerous vermin, bears, minor undead, spiders, and snakes. Said there's also a. They tell you about this ghost.
I thought you said goat at first. I'm like,
You were like, oh no, we have a pet goat. We just let him roam.
There's a goat that roams around the hills. It's very friendly and presents you with good health.
Yeah.
Oh, never seen it.
So
quietly
There's some
shoving my
some
goat
ghost wandering around that reacts to large, loud noises and attacks people. All right.
just wanders the ruins.
wanders the whole plateau. Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
only attacks for noise?
yeah. Loud noise.
Okay.
Okay. They're also, the two of them are happy to talk to you guys about rumors. So they talk about entrances. So the Pyramid of Thoth, which is that pyramid you guys just skipped around, is the main entrance. But they think there are probably some lesser holes on the cliff face that provide access. All right. And they also say that we suspect that some of the cellars in the ruined city also lead down to the dungeons.
Yeah, we think maybe that could be right.
Yes, we may be able to
Okay.
verify that at some point in time.
They tell you that they are certain there are at least a dozen levels. Okay. And that it culminates in a huge cavern with an enormous lake at the bottom. And so they know that there's a tribe of baboons on the second level, as well as an organized unit of beastmen on the third level, and a goblin kingdom somewhere around the third, fourth-ish level.
Goddamn goblins.
Speak goblin.
There's also seems to be a tribe of lizardmen somewhere. They've also heard rumors of the existence of a band of intelligent trolls, which they call Varumani.
Oh, God.
Varumani.
It's like we're gonna have our hands full.
Intelligent trolls, that's lovely.
Yeah, so that's why
Do
they have a
carry
special
their
name.
own fire extinguishers?
That doesn't sound good.
And they said, and the trolls do treat with people. That they don't just, they're not
Well,
typical trolls. All right. So there's here's the iconic locations that people know about. There's the Pyramid of Thoth. There's the Court of the Goblin King. There's the Great Chasm. There's something called the Obsidian Gates. The Great Cavern. The Sundered Span. The Inn of the Lost, and unfortunately, the Forum of Set. And here's what the names of special people that they've heard. So, they've heard the name Dano, Deino, from the Beastmen, and they think she's the Beastmen leader. They've also heard of Kerbog Khan, so Kerbog, and then a new word, Khan, Khan, and he's a sorcerer. And rumor has it he controls an entire level.
Possibly a poison maker?
They get really nervous about this, and they kind of, you can tell that the leader of the cult of Set is High Priestess Stephania, Stephania.
Sounds like a vampire.
Shit, these guys.
Yeah, how the fuck do they know all this?
They're up here just because they
Because
get
adventurers-
a lot of rumors
That's true,
and
yeah.
news.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
There's also there's a Grand King of the Goblins named Whitson, Witsen.
Can't be a grand king when you have that name.
I concur.
I am grand. My name's Winston.
There's a person named Gog, Gog, and this person's a wise hermit who aids the needy. There's another person called Lankios, Lankios, who's crazy but harmless.
You're getting old,
yeah.
right?
I
Okay.
didn't get that Lankios.
Holy fuck.
And also, Kronos and Estelle, they have a number of men here, all right, that they have working for them. And their men have conversed with a very strange druid named Geralad. Gerrrilad. And they've talked to him in the woods north of the ruined city. So outside of Arden Vul. Okay. Now, regarding treasure and hoards, so they've heard of the falling treasures and tombs. All right. That there's Mauricio's tomb Muirasso apostrophe S tomb. And it's supposed to Muirasso, and it's supposed to be full of treasure. No one's okay. There's the Lost Library of Thoth, which contains powerful spells unknown to present wizards. And apparently, in Arden Vul somewhere is the tomb of the great hero Laeral One Eye, which you guys have heard famous stories about his conquests. He's kind of like our modern day Robin Hood, all right, that kind of person. And there is the tomb of the conqueror who came from Arcontios and conquered Arden Vul when it first began, because it was actually inhabited by someone else. And this guy is called Marius the Great, Marius. And they say so. All sorts of people come in and out of here, and this is how we hear it. So we're more than happy to trade with you, to sell items. We have merchants here. We have specialty people with statues, and it's a surprising number of statues because the priesthood of Thoth and the priesthood of Set were dabbled in statue making heavily. All right, and so they'll pay for both, even though the cult of Set is distasteful and quite scary. And the reason they say that is because they traffic in slaves and human sacrifice. So, do you have any questions for us?
Well, we want to get a room, get food, rest, and then spend the next day recovering those 6. Because we need money, and if we don't get some money, we're gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sleeping in the wilds.
Yeah, like we are gonna have to buy a tent with our last bit of money so we can do.
So we'll end here.